episode
5
now. That's amazing.
5.
I'm just going to move this a little bit far away because I think I'm quite loud. Episode 5 of... Come on.
Not Another Couples Podcast.
Yes, people.
Yeah, baby.
We made it. So what's been happening with you recently? Talk me through your week.
What's been going on? What's been going on? Development of this new space, which will hopefully happen. I'm just going to get rid of the dog.
Don't get rid of her. Just
Stay.
She's been thrown onto a sofa. Very comfortable, squashy sofa. No animals were harmed in this
filming.
So
yeah, it's been quite busy with that. It was an up and down last week. We're only Tuesday today. But it was an up and down last week with the manufacturer saying, no, that won't fit in the space.
Computer says no.
Then the landlord, who's been amazing, went, yes, we can make that work.
Sorry, Ziggy, could you try not to vomit in the background, please? It's really, really
So yes,
rude.
it was a emotional week.
Emotional roller coaster of a week.
It ended on a very big high, with a bit of costs involved. But I think,
sorry about the coughing in the background.
It's not me gagging.
Vomiting dog in the background, and the police are coming.
So yeah, it was a good week. It was a good week overall. It was a good week. Yes, Flynn played rugby on Saturday. Yeah, that was good.
Stressful, but we made it
Raining,
through.
yeah.
Weather's been horrific, but that's normal.
Right.
Dog being annoying.
Do I need to lock you out?
Just stay still.
Yes, licking doesn't do it.
Our previous dog was called Fidget. This one should have been called Fidget, really.
This one's called Miss
FOMO.
Sikatita.
Can't miss out on anything.
Are you going to stay here? Or
She's sitting on Mark's lap right now, licking his face.
Yeah, nice and sweaty after the walk.
Right, could you please just sit still? You've been out. You've been taken out. Just behave yourself, please.
There's a lot to do when you're head of security.
Oh, honestly. So we played golf, didn't we?
Oh, yes. You were good.
I haven't played golf. I actually can't remember the last time we played. Well, I played golf
You went to the range and hit a few balls.
On an actual golf course, so...
No.
We used to play it a little bit before we had children.
Yeah. So Flynn likes going to Hampton Court because you can rent a buggy.
Because you can get a buggy. So we went there, we got a buggy.
It was very busy, but it was all right. It was all right. We played 9 holes.
Just about managed that.
Flynn had a bit of a sulk because he didn't play very well.
Well, I think I was trying to explain to him. He said, yeah, but you haven't played for ages. I said, yeah, I don't have any expectations of myself because I haven't played for ages. You've been playing, not regularly, but a little bit more than I have in the last 20 years. So you've got expectations and you're competitive. And also, I think you just think he was hangry. He was hangry by the end of the...
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
But he had a protein bar.
Well, he had a part of it. He didn't eat all of it.
Oh, he's perfect.
So I think he was just a bit hangry as well. So his shots were getting worse and worse. He was getting more and more annoyed because I was hitting some nicer shots.
I mean, the problem was it did just remind me of me as a kid.
Yeah, 100%.
But I actually threw a club into the woods once because I got so annoyed.
He kept whacking his on the floor, and I kept saying to him, "Stop hitting them on the floor, like repeatedly, because you're strong."
But it is the most frustrating game in the world. You can understand why.
Well, I completely understand, because when we first met and I joined the golf fraternity of your family, I'd never played, and we used to go to America where your parents were.
Oh, yes.
On a beautiful, pristine...
You make a divot in there and you get your legs amputated.
I played golf with your mum, and she just politely suggested I use the T-peg on the fairway, because I was very Happy Gilmore style golf, probably still am.
I mean, that's a bit harsh on Happy Gilmore.
I'm probably far more aggressive than Happy Gilmore. But no, I did all right. So you gave me a little top tip of, because my back's a bit stiff, of at the backswing not doing a full backswing because
you do a little kinky wrist.
Well, I go to a point where my back doesn't go anymore, and then I flick my wrist, because obviously that just increases the range, I think. But obviously that just makes it worse for my shot.
And your back.
And my back. So if I just take it like almost a half backswing, and then just give it some welly gently on the way down.
Give it some welly gently.
Welly gently. That is the top tip for golf. So yeah, it was all right. I got a bit cold, but that was because I was just sitting in the buggy doing nothing.
Yeah.
But the buggy sped it up for me, because otherwise I think I might have just been a bit like...
Well, I had my dad's hand-me-down electric buggy, which had a mind of its own. Well,
it was great.
I didn't turn it on.
You forgot to turn it on.
I said, it doesn't feel like it's giving much assistance.
Like pushing it along.
And then there's an on-off button.
Well done, Mark.
Very intelligent.
I have got notes this week because...
Jesus.
I just want to keep on schedule.
Oh, we got a schedule?
No, we haven't got a schedule. That makes it sound like I've planned it, but I haven't. There's just a few things that I want to remember to talk about. So we've talked about the golf, which was obviously very exciting.
Moving on.
Moving on. Next on the agenda. So we're going to go...
Born.
No, we're not going
it's
to talk
not
about
on the
that.
list.
It's similar. It's bras versus pants. So on Instagram, on the gram,
you sent that thing. You always send things through, and then I never get to click on them. I forget. I'm not very good at clicking on them.
I sent it to you for reference, but obviously, anyway, the article is this guy called, let me just find his name, sorry, Grayson McGarher, I think is how you say it. He's a comedian, big beardy American comedian, or comedy writer, I can't remember his exact title. And there's a girl on Instagram, some people might have seen it, where she talks about, a bra being called an over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
Oh, yeah, titty basket.
So what would pants be called? And he's come out with a whole list of stuff. I don't know whether you've got... What do you call your pants? Just pants?
We did used to have names for them. Testicle tubes.
Testicle tubes.
Testicle tubes.
Testicle tubes.
Yeah.
Well, he's got... I'm going to just reel them off because there's loads of them.
Go.
Tool shed.
Oh, good one.
Dong thong.
Oh.
This is one of my favourites. Front butt nut hut.
Front butt nut.
Sounds better with American accent. A front butt nut hut. Chode abode.
Chode. We've got a friend called Chode.
Taint tent. I thought you'd like that one.
Isn't one of...
Little taint tent.
Oh.
Beanie for the weenie.
No, not me.
A nut nook.
Yeah.
Scrotum sanctuary.
Oh, that's like a spa for your scrotum.
Exactly. A sweet sweat sack set suitcase. You can't... Yeah, that's too hard to say.
Alliteration. Well, go on. Say it again.
Sweet sweat sack... What?
Say it quicker.
Sweet sweat sack set suitcase. No, I can't say it.
Okay.
Anyway, trouser houser.
Yeah,
that's not bad. Testicular terror something.
Oh, I like scrotum sanctuary.
Girdle for the gonads.
Yeah, scrotum.
Junk drawer. Safe place around the waist. This is another one of my favourites. Upper topper flopper stopper.
Oh, okay.
And his wife hates this one. A chin warmer charging station.
Very good. I see what he's getting there.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you've got
pants
things
are very important.
Budgie smugglers obviously have made a complete brand out of Speedos style.
Oh, Speedos, yes.
Things.
But then, because I don't understand, and one of Flynn's friends as well wears one of those really old school, the cotton boxers where everything's just hanging loose. I just don't get that. Why would you want... do you know what I mean? My dad used to wear cotton. Those. I mean, maybe he does, but it was Y fronts. But then he had those big cotton boxers where you just feel like it's like the last turkey in the shop hanging out of either side or whatever.
Well, it's like that Chandler and Friends, isn't it? When he puts his leg, that bloke puts his leg up on the shorts,
and you can see
everything hanging out.
Yeah. We used to have a client who used to do that when you stretch him, and he used to wear shorts, obviously, but underneath were these boxers. So you had to position him because he was completely unaware. You had to position him so his nuts weren't facing other clients because they'd get a. Oof.
You do want some support, I imagine. I don't know because I don't have that.
But my problem is I get hot down there.
Yeah.
Everyone gets hot down there, obviously. I don't mean everyone that goes and visits it. But
how many people do you have visit it?
Ziggy?
She sits on your lap warming it for you.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I don't understand those baggy boxers. And I think still people my age wear them.
Is that maybe is cooler? I don't know. It's not all but see, people. What you're forgetting is not everybody does massive amount of activity every day.
No, but also remember, as you get older, the elasticity of skin goes. So your scrotum gets lower and lower. Ballsack gets lower and lower.
Maybe that's why they want it. They want
but imagine.
space.
I mean, by the time you're 60, you might as well just
wear
tuck
trousers.
them in your socks.
Well, maybe they do. It's a bit like boobs, isn't it? I suppose for women.
Yes.
Boobs.
Our testicle are your boobs.
Literally,
just as sensitive.
Gravity.
What are more sensitive? If I hit you in the boobs?
I don't know because I don't have a ball sack.
But if I hit you in the boobs, it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And is it a kind of pain that starts off and you go, no, I've got this, and then it overwhelms you and you fall over?
It depends where you hit it. Because if you hit right on the nipple.
Right, let me say I hit you in the nipple.
But I don't like this conversation. It sounds like you've been beating me up.
No, but I'm talking about the similarity
if you got hit during a
titties and testicles. Yes. So when girls play rugby,
yes,
they wear a supported bra or padded?
I don't think padded, but they obviously wear a good sports bra, hopefully.
A bolt holder. Squeeze them in.
Over the shoulder boulder holder.
But if they get, obviously you can get hit a lot in rugby.
But when I'm training in the gym, if there's anything lying flat on the floor or forward, like on an incline bench or anything like that, it's really painful.
On your bubbles?
Yeah.
What, an ache?
Just feels like someone's like bruised, like
Can
someone's
you not lift
punched
them up and take them over the bed?
They're not that big or floppy, thank you. I have very firm pectorals, thank you.
Put them over your shoulder.
Thank you very much indeed. Rude. What do you mean you're asking? It's like you've never seen my boobs. You're talking as though you've never seen them.
No, I'm talking about if they hurt.
No, they do hurt, but it's like
your
pressure.
security blanket today, that book? I've never seen... Why are you holding onto the book?
Because I've got notes.
What,
and I like
have we got a set
but
time
I also
on each
don't know
thing?
what to do with my hands sometimes. I'm a bit like...
If you're a boy, you would.
Well, I'm not, so there we are.
But what... If
you
always
had
think,
boobs, yes.
for a day, and a fanny.
That reminds me of... What's that film with Jack Black? Jumanji. In one of the Jumanjis
when he turns into a girl,
that sort of like Cali girl.
Yes, and when he has a wee. No, he
the
was
girl,
a girl.
Oh, so the girl turns into Jack Black, doesn't
yes.
it?
And when she first has a wee in the forest, she just loves it.
She thinks it's hilarious. So, do you think that would be you?
No. See, I sit down and wee. I do not understand why anyone stands up and wee. Because I think it's impolite for anyone that works in the cleaning industry. Because we go into the toilets in the
just
gym.
anyone following in.
Yeah, exactly. Because we go into the gym toilets and they decided to design these gyms with a grey matte paint. And so any flick of water, well, I'd like to say water, any flick of
liquids, shall we say.
And you're like, why stand up and wee? Unless it's urinal.
Yeah, well, obviously, maybe that's where it started. I don't know.
Oh.
You should just let one go on you.
I love puff.
Siggy, what's wrong with you today? You don't look very comfortable. You look like you're about to jump off at any second.
Definitely not internally comfortable. Not that smell.
What's that from? Oh. Did you eat anything out on the walk?
Oh, we saw a vole.
A little vole?
Yes, not a mole, a vole.
Oh. How big is a vole?
They look like fat mice.
Fat mice?
It looks like a rat. But the tail isn't quite... Because Ren used to have rats.
No, I know, but how do you know it wasn't a rat?
Because it went into the water. And voles like water.
Can you not have a water rat? Is there not a water rat?
Oh. I don't know.
I thought voles were quite small.
Oh, God. We can't look it up because our phones are being used for filming.
No. That's something that I struggle with, isn't it? So if we're watching TV...
Oh, my God.
I have to... Well, actually, you've just got used to it.
You don't have to. But we now refer to you.
Yes,
we just go, Susie...
I'm literally like...
You see an actor and within 5 seconds she goes, he was in 1987, you're fine.
Yeah, but I'm watching it and then I'm going, I know them, what have they been in? And then my mind goes off on a whole...
My mind's telling me no, but my body... Sorry.
Okay, we're back to singing. Nice.
Sorry.
Who sang that? Yeah, but who started that song? Not you.
No, my ginger brother.
Bazza.
Oh, my northern brother.
Your northern brother. He's not his real brother, actually.
Might be.
You're an only child, aren't you?
I was perfect. So when I was born, my mum went, what's the point of having any more? Perfect.
I'm not quite sure.
She did. And also I had a big head.
I think it's also you were a 10.5 baby. Yeah. So she went, I'm not doing that again. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Well, talking of like looking up stuff on TV, we've been watching, haven't we, Slow Horses.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
Is just
you can
brilliant.
Smell him through the screen.
Yeah, that's what I was having a conversation the other week with some people and they were like, you can almost smell him. He's just so disgusting, but he's so good in it.
So I've noticed when we watch film, I laugh out loud. I don't think I ever hear you laugh out loud or titter.
Oh my God, am I that boring?
No, it's different people do different things. It wasn't a judgmental call. Oh,
Ziggy, do not touch the microphone lead or I might have to...
Should we do a We Are the Worlds? We are the words. We are the people.
No, she's not very comfortable.
Sorry.
I'm holding her, forcing her to do things she doesn't want to do.
So
Gary Oldman.
You don't titter. It's very rare that I hear you go.
I think it's internally I'm laughing.
Do you laugh? Like Gary Oldman?
Do I laugh ever?
Gary Oldman's got some very funny lines.
But he does, but I don't necessarily laugh out loud at him necessarily. I see his character. Some of the things, his characters and mannerisms remind me of Catherine Tate's Nan.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of just blatant, like when he was trying to identify the body or whatever. He goes, "You got any identifying marks?" Yeah, you used to have a bloody...
Used to have a face.
A face. He has said rather rude words, which obviously I can't say.
No, you're a lady.
Polite.
You're
I never
lady.
swear. Don't swear. So Slow Horses is our big new thing. We've still got 2 episodes.
We were so
to watch.
but we're always behind on these things.
Yeah, so we're on season 4, but 2 episodes to go. We watched it back to back. But Flynn likes to come and watch stuff with us as well, obviously.
And then fall asleep at 9.
So he comes in, wants to watch something, and then we'll fall asleep within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we do because
After you've fed him
because he's been at
bagels and hot chocolate
school
and
for like 12
massaged.
hours. Comes in, he's had a lot of sport. We have a little
Jesus.
sports massage. He might have dinner. He might have then a bath or a shower. He gets very well looked after.
Just a bit.
But you're just jealous.
Yes. It
You
used to
get-
be me. It
you
used to
get
be
fed
me that
well.
would get that. Yeah, I do. That's good.
He asks me polite. He's got a way. He just can. Yeah. He can, like
just
Amber
look-
can wangle you round
Oh,
your
easy,
little finger.
yeah.
Flinny can
Easy.
do that to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a look. He started to be a bit cheeky last night, and then
Realised he
wanted
hadn't
to
had a
ask for a massage. And I was like, it doesn't work like that, mate. Doesn't work like that, mate. Does it, Ziggs? At all. And what's the other thing? So when Flynn comes in, we like watching a bit of Gogglebox.
Yeah. What was the age when? Do you remember when we were obviously strict?
Strict. When we used to be strict.
When the kids, we didn't like it when there was any swearing on TV and stuff.
Well,
when did
that's just being appropriate parents. That's not being strict. That's just being good parents.
Okay. When did that stop? Because obviously now we watch things. I know they're 16 and whatever she is, 19.
She's 19.
When did that stop? When did we suddenly kind of all sit down and watch films like Adam Sandler or Ted? Do you remember watching Ted with them? They were
No, the one we watched, which was really bad. So when you watch, I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but when you watch a film or TV show or something as adults, and it's got certain humour, obviously got really bad swearing, you don't always remember it. And so we thought it was a really funny film to watch with the kids, and they were much younger than they are now, which was Dodgeball. Because we were like, this is hilarious, this is a really funny film.
Yeah.
Really
so
funny
he's
film.
got eating disorders in it.
There's
He's got
everything in this
S&M,
film.
transvestites, the lot.
Everything happens in that film. And you sit there watching it just cringing because you've started and you can't sort of go, oh, not all of it is that bad. So some of it is just general funny humour, slapstick sort of humour. But then there's a lot of
Girls
innuendos
kissing
and
girls.
stuff, which is fine.
Oh, Amber turned to you. Why is the
I
girl
know, she's
kissing
like,
the
why?
girl?
And she was kissing the boy, and then I was like, well, that happens. Sometimes people like both, you know. So it was just explaining some of the. It was almost like watching Panto, where there's like certain levels that they were getting or questioning, and a lot of it unfortunately did go over their head.
But that's that.
But I don't know. I think because they're obviously they have a lot of access to stuff on social media.
Yeah, I mean they see stuff.
YouTube, so it's like you can control a certain amount, and obviously, you know, they are fairly good at stuff like that. But I think once they start,
we don't know.
Well, you know what I mean. We do. Well, we do know we watches because he's very rarely not with us or at school, and they're not allowed their phones to watch YouTube. But
he has an hour on the way in on the.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd be watching anything.
Rugby.
It's basically
Rugby and
rugby or
protein.
Like Sidemen or something like that on YouTube. Yeah, I just think, you know, I think when we let them watch stuff like that, it was more, I don't know, I suppose when they were older teens. I mean, there used to be a bit more of a curfew. Obviously, watching an 18 with Flynn when he was like 13 was not going to happen.
Oh yeah, but so when were they allowed to watch?
I can't remember. I don't
15.
know if there was an actual.
I think we went 15.
Maybe a bit.
And then he claims that Amber was allowed to at 14. And
that always
starts
happens.
the whole.
You know, you wouldn't. Yeah, you didn't have a sibling to.
I was just locked in a dark room.
Mainly, you were just basically Harry Potter, weren't you?
Yes.
That's what we have been watching.
Yes,
Harry Potter.
I'd forgotten half of that.
Yeah,
and now they're doing a new TV show.
I don't think I'd ever watched. Sometimes I think I've watched it because I've seen so much footage of it. You know,
when did it first come out? When was the first Harry Potter?
Ages. They were like
20 years ago.
10 or something, weren't they, when they first started?
But
they're doing Gary Oldman's in that. I'd forgotten he was in that.
Oh yeah,
Sirius Black.
But they're now doing a new TV show, so they're looking for 9 to 11-year-olds. You imagine if you landed that role.
Yeah, but I just sometimes think when you like recreate something that's been so iconic like that, I don't think it always has the same. I mean, I think there's still a huge following for Harry Potter. I mean, when I went to King's Cross Station the other day with Amber, there's a whole tourist queue to go into a little shop.
Platform 3,
platform
whatever
9
it
or
is.
3/4, whatever it is. So obviously there's a massive cult following of Harry Potter, but I think. I don't know whether it's just for me. It wouldn't be the same. You know, they're redoing so many films.
So they're doing new Happy
They've
Gilmore.
redone Gladiators. I mean, that obviously isn't anywhere
yeah.
near as
Obviously,
good
the original,
as
the black and
our
white
show.
version.
Right. Well, you were on it.
Black and white. Luckily, hid the ginger.
It's not black and white. Thank you.
And they're doing a new Happy Gilmore. And name me a film where the sequel's better than the first one. Rocky. Well, there was about 18 sequels.
Yeah, I think Rocky's sort of built, but I think because it was so cheesy, it didn't really matter.
How dare you?
Star Wars. You're a Star Wars geek, aren't you?
I made those.
That's that Mandalorian though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a little Grug.
Yeah.
That's a little baby Yoda.
Yoda.
That is my skill set. So,
So Mark is pointing for the viewers, people who are listening at home.
Lego.
Little Lego.
So my family trying to get me to sit still occasionally.
You wanted it.
No, I know. But so that's my attempt of being artistic.
So Mark wanted to have time where he wasn't just physically moving around doing stuff. So to actually sit and do something a bit more mindful.
Apart from playing with myself.
Well, I think... Do you do that?
Sometimes.
Okay, good. And so Lego is one of your things that you thought you might like to do.
Yeah.
And so we bought you small... No, you ordered those. No, I got you
bought
those
some
ones.
Flowers.
You bought sunflowers.
You're laughing?
Yes.
Why are you laughing? I gave you one.
I know, and
You
I've kept
bitch.
it. Oh.
You won't sing with me and I give you presents, handmade presents. If that was made out of wood, you would have got all emotional.
Oh, it was very nice.
No,
Thank
you're laughing
you.
at me.
I'm laughing because you... So there's extremes, what I'm about to explain. So you
here we
bought the
go.
sunflowers.
Yes.
And then you bought a moped in Lego.
It's not a moped, it's a Vespa.
Vespa.
Don't just give it a...
Sorry. Which is still not made.
I'm 3/4 of the way through. It requires a lot more concentration.
It went to France, came back from France.
Well, because it's Italian,
Didn't
Vespa.
get looked at. Didn't even open the box.
I was very busy in France.
All the way there.
There's
and back.
too many
By
things
yourself?
to do in France.
I think you were by yourself when you took it to France.
Yeah, but I did those 12-hour bike rides.
Yeah, and went lost in the woods lifting trees and stuff.
With wood nymphs. When I was little.
Oh, here we go. This is his brain, isn't it?
This when I was little. We used to live near Wimbledon. 10.
Yeah.
And I had a dog. No, must have been older. So I was
even more worrying.
12 maybe when we bought the dog. Anyway, my job was to take the dog for a walk on Wimbledon Common. And I used to think as I walked through the woods.
This is what happens for an only child.
And then the other thing, every time I went for a walk with a dog.
Right, can we just get to first story?
It is related.
Okay.
But every time I went for a dog walk, I'd need a poo.
Need a poo. Okay.
So I'd have to go and have a poo in the woods.
So
But then I
if you're
used to
walking
dream.
in Wimbledon Common
No, it would have biodegraded.
in
It doesn't grow there, it doesn't go there.
1984.
And then I used to think that there were such things as wood nymphs who would come down.
And you were 12?
Wow, it was just wishful thinking. Yeah, I was getting a little bit horny maybe. But they'd come down and take me away into their wood nymph land.
Oh, bless him.
When I think it was a bit more naughty than
I
that.
don't think you need to explain this to everybody all the time.
But wood nymphs are real.
Are they?
Yes, definitely.
Have you ever seen one?
Yes.
When?
Wimbledon Common.
When?
When I was 12. It may have been
In
a
your
figment of my...
mind?
Yes.
Okay.
But the mind is a powerful thing.
Wow.
I don't need hallucinogenic drugs.
Did you see a womble?
Yes, I did. I have met Uncle
real
Bulgaria.
life
Yes,
womble
I have met Uncle
On
Bulgaria.
Wimbledon Common?
Yes. They used to Canizaro Park. They
Were
used
you
to do it.
collecting litter?
I used to pick up litter when I was little.
Did you?
When I was
It's
little.
like you've gone back to being 10-year-old. I was really, really good. And I picked up litter. I'm so good.
I was very good.
Very good.
I was a nice child
So
until
you were
I met
good
you.
until you shot someone in the bum with an air rifle.
Oh, we don't have to bring that
Yes,
up.
we do. Yes,
Why?
we do. Because it was...
That's not my proudest moment.
No, it's not your proudest moment, but it's
It was a
quite
good shot, but it's
funny.
not my proudest
So,
moment.
again, being an only child and bored, obviously imagining wood nymphs, a little bit older than this, you were practising with your air rifle out the window.
I found Dad's air rifle.
Okay, it wasn't even
And I
yours.
started trying to shoot pigeons. And then the neighbour was...
Target practice, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pigeons.
Okay.
What do they call it? Flying rats.
No animals
This was
were
before
harmed
parakeets.
in...
You're allowed to shoot parakeets now, apparently. I'm not too sure if that's true. I may have just announced something that's illegal.
Yeah, don't do that, people.
And this kid was kicking a ball against a little low wall, and then he kicked it over the wall and was leaning over to get his ball. I thought,
It was just too tempting.
and it was but unfortunately it went through
But being the word.
It went through his jeans and stuck into his skin. It didn't pierce his skin. Well, it must have a bit. Anyway, I got in trouble.
You got in trouble. But then years later, we were at a wedding dinner.
Oh, yes.
The night before the wedding in France, and we were sitting next to this. It was quite a posh wedding, and we were sitting next to all these different people for the dinner before the wedding, and chatting to people like you do at a wedding. You know, where do you from?
How do you know the groom?
How do you know the groom? By the groom. And I happened to chat to this guy who said he'd lived in Wimbledon. I said, "Oh, Mark grew up in Wimbledon." Da 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 da. Where was he? But on saying what said the road name and everything. And he went, "Oh." He said, "Oh, he's not that bloke. He shot my friend in the bum with an air rifle," and he knew the guy. who you'd shot.
Yeah, I know. I should have gone into the army. I mean, that was the sign, wasn't it? I did think about joining the army.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I've got relatives who are kind of
Yeah, but you done
Air
it at
Force
school,
and
didn't you? CCS.
yeah, but I only like
Up
the
the
assault
army.
course. I didn't like the marching about and polishing your
Well,
boots. And
there's probably a lot of that in the army as well.
there is a lot of that in the army.
So you did that TV show, do you remember? Back in the day.
Trading places.
25 years ago, I'm going to say, because it was near your 30th birthday.
It was my. I was there for my 30th. I was paranoid they were going to take. Well, they did try and take me out drinking.
So it's Tiger Aspect TV.
How do you remember that?
Because I'm in the TV world.
Right.
Tiger Aspect, I think, did it, and you did a job swap.
Yeah, with a PT who came to train my clients at the Grosvenor House when I had the gym there, and then I went to Lichfield in Birmingham. That's it. And was a PT instructor with them, and so they wanted to show me up, so they put me with the paras rather than the normal cadets.
But they were young, weren't they? Like 16, 17-year-olds that you were with mostly, weren't they?
Yeah, paras a little bit older, 1 year older, because they've already done the basic training, and it was brutal.
It was quite. It's a brilliant show. We have to dig it out and maybe put it on our
no need
Instagram.
No need. Was it post curtains? Did I still have curtains?
You had fairly long hair, I think. Oh. Yeah, but the difference, they'd made you do a little video diary, which obviously was quite funny. But you obviously they just wanted to make the extremes of you coming from Mayfair, working with
Posh PT,
rich clients, to then training cadets and making you suffer, basically. But actually, you really enjoyed it.
But the biggest thing was because obviously then you had quite a few Fijians joining the army, so you had these massive, normally rugby players as well. And then these little kind of English oiks who just I remember the assault course, the 10-foot wall, and you've got an English kid standing there with his fingers interlinked, trying to help up this massive, 18-stone Fijian, and just literally the Fijian running through him. And the PT, oh my God, they were brutal. I guess they have to be.
But it started off, the way they obviously filmed it and the way they edited it for you was you started off and you're doing a normal sort of warm up and stretching and making sure people are okay. And if they fall back on the run, you're running back to help them, and they were like, leave him there.
Don't you fucking pick him up. I went, Dad, he's home. So.
He's only little.
And they weren't allowed to break stride. So if he was in the way, they'd literally, one kid just literally stood on the back of his head into a puddle. I remember that.
It's gruesome.
But as they said, if they're going to go to war, so they need to be toughened up. And this one kid couldn't climb the rope, and we all had to stand around. Must have been there for 45 minutes in the peeing rain. Everyone was freezing, and this kid had to climb the rope. And every time he fell, this guy used to kick him, literally kick him.
I don't think I could
kick him, and his hands were bleeding because he was just sliding down the rope. But fair play, he did get up there. And then they interviewed him at the end. He goes, "Yeah, well, if they didn't shout at me, I wouldn't have done it." And so
yeah, it's different mentality, isn't it? But then the guy who swapped with you came to the Grosvenor House, wasn't he?
Good Welsh man.
Yeah, he was, more highly qualified.
Well, he was more of a rehabber. So his job was to get the cadets back, because back then the biggest fear was shin splints because they weren't conditioned. And that was when they stopped them tabbing, that fast walking in their boots. They gave them the old
high-tech training.
High-tech silver shadow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
But you've still got the boots. You still got the trousers, haven't you?
I've still got the trousers.
They gave you.
No, the boots fell apart, unfortunately.
I was going to say 25 years ago. But
they
the
were
trousers,
brilliant. Trousers are still going. Brilliant. Yeah.
But that was really funny. And then it was your 30th birthday. You're fine with all the physical stuff. It was like the drinking culture.
They took me to the mess, and I knew that I had to. So I basically would down a pint, go to the toilet, try and drink as much as I could while I was in the toilet, water, and then come out. And
not from the toilet.
And then the idea is we were going to go into Lichfield, wherever it was, to a club, which was notorious for the army boys and the civilians getting into fights. I was like, oh my God. But they all got so drunk that no one left.
They just passed out, didn't they? Oh. And there's a little clip of you doing a little video diary in the bathroom going, yes, they've all fallen asleep. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to run and hide before they wake up. Yeah. You were eating like
bacon
cheese
sarnie or something. So one of the women behind the because they had civilians working in the bar. That was it. And I told her my secret that I couldn't really drink. She goes, keep eating. She kept feeding me stuff.
Oh, bless.
Little lightweight.
And then, because it was your 30th, I remember that, and we went to Morocco. I took you to Morocco, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Nice.
happens. So we're gonna. So obviously, each week we've had a little insight of your knowledge.
Sexual.
No,
No.
not sexual knowledge necessarily, just health related. So it could be about that, but I think we have enough of that on this show.
Thank you.
So I'm going to call it. I'm giving you a title and everything.
I mean, she's getting very official.
Well, no, hello. You were the one who was slightly more reluctant to even do this in the first place, and now you're like expanding your role. Yeah. But I'm actually giving you a title.
What is my role? Assistant?
Just to listen to me.
Okay.
As usual.
Okay.
What am I going to call it? Just a minute. Or just a Mark's minute. What do we think? What do you prefer? Just a minute with Mark, or just a Mark's minute?
Is it? Be strict on the timing then.
Okay, you're going to have a minute.
3.
What are you going to talk about? Literally just put you on the spot. Just a minute.
When you talked about the Welsh guy. Okay. So, 10 years ago, I went to Loughborough University to meet a guy called Professor Clyde Williams, who was a good Welshman. And he's so important up there that they've named a building after him. And we walked around. It was all about. It was linked to longevity. So we were talking to him about what the important things are in longevity. And he, excuse my Welsh accent, he said to us, it was myself and one other guy. He said, "It's all about the bum, not the tum." And we were like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It's all about. It doesn't matter if you're slightly overweight, but if you can maintain your muscle mass as you get older, the health benefits are huge. Metabolic health."
I thought you were going to say like, what comes out of your bum.
Oh, no. So it was all about, he was talking about muscle mass.
Okay,
the important, especially as you get older, muscle mass. Yeah. So remember, the more muscle you have, and the analogy that I always use is, if you imagine a bath full of water and your plug hole is the amount of muscle that you have. So if you don't have much muscle, you've got this tiny little plug hole, and the water is blood sugars. Yeah, so you've had something sweet. If you've got a tiny little amount of muscle, it takes ages for all that blood sugar to go through the hole.
Right.
But if you've got lots of muscle, then your control of blood sugars is much better. Can flow and so on.
We're talking about your hole again.
Always talking about my hole. But yes, the importance of muscle mass, especially as you get older. Menopausal women, that's a huge one as well.
I was lifting heavy yesterday.
You were?
I'm all right on muscle mass.
But you always come back and you go, it's meant to be easy, and it wasn't easy.
Well, no, I did. It depends who I'm training with.
Were you showing off?
No, I wasn't showing off.
Suzie?
AJ was showing off.
AJ Tracy?
No, AJ is one of the guys in the class, and he's very, very strong for a very slight man. He's very strong, and he kept sort of motivating me.
So you did show off?
Didn't show off.
Suzie?
I didn't.
A little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
He needed spotting.
So muscle mass, it's absolutely key. And everyone that beats themselves up for by not doing, I've gone over
a minute, but it doesn't matter.
If everyone beats themselves up for by not doing enough stuff in their life, but there is lots of studies showing the benefit of just training strength work once a week. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. I think you can make 8% strength gains in just one session a week, which is a lot. So
I think there's more women strength training now than ever before.
Yeah, well, it was all that fear of getting bulky. I was like, Jesus Christ, you know how hard a bodybuilder has to work?
I know.
And someone says, you're going to, I don't want to lift, I'm going to get big. I'm like, I've had so many.
I dare you to get big.
Yeah, go on.
Show me.
Yeah, and normally it's people that come to me that haven't got big frames. It's going to take them, you can test someone's frame size, their wrist. So the areas you can't actually build are your knee joint, your elbow and your wrist, and you can actually measure them, and it will give you somatotype basically, so you can tell what frame size. No one's meso, which is the athletic, ecto and endo. No one's one of there's a kind of combo of each, but you can normally to build muscle takes a lot of effort. So people that go, I don't want to lift, I want to get bulky, I'm like, fuck off, come on. But yeah, it's still a stigma. It's still a big stigma.
It is, but I think it's changed with more women doing, even when it was like even just body pump, with the Les Mills things back in the day. At least women were in a studio together lifting weights and actually doing resistance work, even though it was like a million reps and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that was more circuit team.
But it is, but to get women to actually get used to doing free weights, women would always, and this is just not hating women, this is just how it's been, would always get on a machine. They'd either be on the cardio or they'd be on the machines. I used to go and train in the free weights bit in the gym, and I was the only female in there doing free weight stuff.
Yeah.
But now, because of CrossFit, because of classes, because of seeing more women in on social media and on TV, and being strong and fit and appreciating different body types for what they can and can't do.
Well, also women in sport have grown. Obviously Athletics is my thing, but people like, I guess, Denise Lewis was the first one, very athletic, but Jess Ennis Hall, Katarina Johnson Thompson, all these people have to work really hard on their strength, but aren't massive.
No.
And then you've got footballers now who are amazing.
Even golfers
Yes.
are now training. They didn't used to train like that. They just hit golf balls.
I mean, these guys are phenomenally strong.
Yeah. So that's it, people. Go lift some weights. Play some golf.
Oh, is it?
No, that's not what I'm telling people to do.
Yeah.
Fine,
oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, have you...
There's so on Saturday...
Right, he's just pointing to... You have to explain what...
It looks like I've had a terrible mistake on my groin.
That wasn't Ziggy, though, was it? Because she was just sitting on your lap.
No, that looks dry already. But then on Saturday... Is it
Moose.
Pyrenees? Is Moose Pyrenees mounted dog or Newfoundland? I always get he's going to be very upset with me,
Newfoundland, I think.
But he has this ability. He's a big dribbler,
moves.
And he comes up to me and always puts his head in my crotch and then leaves it look like I've ejaculated, which looks pretty bad when you're standing watching kids sport. It's not the best thing.
Yeah.
And every time I need to wear some sort of...
You need to wear a long, waterproof, wipe clean bib. Just wear your apron.
Yes. Or a little plastic sack when I first meet him.
Plastic sack.
No, more dodgy.
No.
Okay. Well, I haven't made a mess, I promise.
Very dirty and hairy.
Well, no, I'm hairy now.
You're covered in dog hairs.
Our dogs leave hairs everywhere.
We groom them. We have short, white-haired dogs, thinking that they would not.
I'm just
molt
looking
as
at the
much.
carpet. Everything is covered in white hairs. I mean, surely they should be bald by now.
She's just taken herself off, dug a big hole in a blanket,
Maybe
and
we
sleeping.
should just
Shave them.
Yes.
Shave them.
Oh, that would look weird. What's that dog? That's got no hair.
I saw a thing yesterday of a husky having its winter coat, almost blown out. Like a really powerful Hoover, not Hoover, like your leaf blower thing, basically.
Yes.
And it was just literally getting chunks of fur were flying out. Like a fur storm.
A what?
A fur storm. So what we're going to call your minute? Well, it wasn't a minute. Should we just got
Mark's...
Just a Mark. Mark's mayhem. Mark's masterclass.
Oh dear, I touched something.
Don't touch the
ginger.
Leaves. The ginger whinger. Ginger space.
Ginger space.
Could we call it ginger space?
African sunset.
Because your company's called Personal Space, so we call it ginger space.
Yeah.
This could be a little side.
And we only employ strawberry blondes, African sunsets. Jean-Gers. Auburn.
Well, I can't then work because I've got.
You've got a bit of a Jean-Gers now. That's not blonde. That's ginger.
I've got blonde bits. I've gone blonde, people.
That's ginger.
It's called. I don't know what it's called. It's not a balayage,
Kinky.
But it's
what?
Balayage.
Isn't that's expensive trainers?
No, that's Balenciaga.
Oh God, it's confusing.
Come on, keep up, people.
I try to.
Right, well, that's it then.
Well
that's this week. Thank you.
Carry on,
Episode 5, not
everyone.
Another couples podcast. Download it, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody. Let us continue doing this and giving you wise words.
We're like owls.
I'm an owl, you're a lark.
Oh yeah. Night night.